Ho ho ho, 'tis the season, all that
Bah humbug.
whatever. Happy holidays, everybody. This video is probably coming out after the holiday season, but this is technically my holiday video because I'm filming it before the holiday season. But yeah, hello, welcome back to another video. Oh, that's not my intro. Oh, hi, and welcome to Savannah's, where I give my opinions that no one really cares about, but will give anyways. Survivor 49 just ended, and I have some opinions on it. And of course, we'll get into all of that with the classic tier ranking video. Ooh, my friend wants to play Peek. Peek. Enough said, let's get into the ranking video, and spoilers abound, obviously. Now, with my cast ranking videos, I typically like to rank them in the order they were eliminated, so I'll start with the first person eliminated all the way to the winner. With my tiers, I have 6 of them. I go from loved to they were great, they were good, they were okay, disliked, and they were there. With my love tiers, pretty much I loved them, they were very entertaining, and I thought they had really good gameplay. I do rank gameplay over entertainment value, but they are both very important. The least entertaining you were, the least strategic you were, or the more bad you were at the game, the lower in the ranking you go. And my final tier is they were there, because sometimes Survivor doesn't really edit the contestants, or they get out early, and I don't think it's fair to rank them because we didn't see enough of them, and that's where they go. But let's start with the first person voted off the island. It was Nicole. She was good. The one episode she was in, she was pretty entertaining. I mean, the moment that sticks out in my face was when she spit on Jeremiah's face. That was gross, but hilarious. I think she would have been a kind of chaotic, fun energy. I don't think we saw enough of her to establish what her gameplay was like. I mean, I guess she did have the wrong read that she didn't need to play a shot in the dark. I think she was going after Annie during a tribal council, so that was bad. But like from the one episode she gave us, I found her entertaining to watch. So that's why she goes in the good tier. Next is Annie, and okay. I'll put her in okay. I don't think she really she was in 2 episodes, so you didn't see a lot of her, but from what she did give us, she was not that good of a player. She knew she was on the bottom, and yet she didn't play a shot in the dark. It was very obvious she was on the bottom. She trusted Alex way too much for some reason. I didn't find it that entertaining, and she wasn't a good player, but there are other contestants I didn't like more, and she's not at the level of those contestants. I could put her at the top of dislike too, but because there are other contestants I didn't like as much, I'll put her in okay. Maybe I'll move her lower later. Next, I'm going to do Jake. And Jake is another, he was okay. I almost put him in a dislike tier because again, do I like not like a lot of this cast? I guess we'll find out. I almost put him in the dislike tier because I really didn't like the shoe bandit thing. I thought it was stupid. I didn't think it was funny. Like, it was very clear that he's doing it for the show, not because he finds it funny or for any strategic reasons, which I get. Sometimes it is fun to do something funny because you are on camera, you're in a situation that you normally wouldn't be in. Might as well make the best of it and have some fun. I get that part, but I thought it was stupid. I did think it was ironic, and I know a lot of people talked about it, that where he got bit by the snake was at his feet, which if he had had a shoe on, it probably would have been fine, which is funny. It is very unfortunate that he couldn't continue on the game, but I understand why they had to pull him. I would have been curious to see where his game would have gone because he was in the driver's seat. I think he and Sophie would have gone to the final 2 in that tribe, but we'll never know. And at least he made his child's, I can't remember his daughter's son, his child's birth. I think he was actually pretty good at the game, but in terms of entertainment value, I found him more annoying than engaging. So he's going to get docked points for that and going down to the okay tier, but I'll put him at top of okay. He's definitely better than Annie. Next is Jeremiah. He goes in the dislike tier. Ah, God, he's like that astrology boy. It's like, oh my God, you're like this, we're so compatible. Or because you're this way, I know how you're feeling and thinking. I hate that bullshit. And I'm sorry if you're watching my video and that is your thing, you believe in that. All I have to say to that is,
why?
Like, I hate it when people make that the whole personality and then they make judges based off of really like pseudo-silent, stupid bullshit. And so that really annoyed me. I digress. I hate the astrology things. I don't think he was that good of a player. He had a funny laugh. He was a very evil laugh. So in terms of entertainment value, I appreciate him. If it was just purely entertainment, he'd probably go, honestly, good. But the astrology thing and the poor gameplay knocks him down a dislike tier for me. Next is Matt, and I'm going to put him in the middle of okay. I don't think we really saw a lot of his gameplay. He was in a majority alliance, and with everybody except for Sophie and that one guy who's next that I can't remember because he was really irrelevant. So he did have some good gameplay. He kind of did get tribe swap screwed. I did find him entertaining. Maybe I'll put him in good. He didn't annoy me as much as some of the other contestants. And looking back, like he was in an unfortunate situation. He did have like some weird, wasn't he like doing some like weird move to throw, what's this other guy's name? It's not Jake. Jason? Was it Jason? Oh my God, I have to click through all my things. Fan wiki. Okay, it was Jason. He was so irrelevant. Okay, yeah, he was trying to do something with like Jason. I vaguely remember that. It was a really weird move, but it didn't work out. But I guess, yeah, I'll put him in good. I think that's fair. Jason's going to go in the they were there tier. I don't know if I should put him in. He was like barely on the screen. Like I was not a big fan of the edit this season, and that will make more sense later on in my video. I'll put that at the end. And he was kind of a casualty of the Purple Hina tribe of not being shown at all. I don't think he really gave them a lot though. He was very loyal, very nice, wasn't willing to play, didn't throw anybody on the bus. He was like, I don't understand how people can get on the show and not be cutthroat. And this happens all the time. Like, why are you going on Survivor and want to play a loyal game? Like, I don't want to like lie. I don't want to throw anybody in the bus. Blah, 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 blah. Like, you are there to win $1 million and only one of you can win. He just wouldn't do that. And it almost cost him. Like, I think he almost went out where Matt spot because it was very clear he was not turned on his other tribe. Like, just lie. Just say that you're on the bottom at your turn against them. Just fucking lie. And he won it. And that really, I'm convincing myself he's going to dislike to you. That was so frustrating. That was like the one thing they showed us was him like not playing the game and actually making very bad game choices. He was also very much under-edited, and I do feel bad for him. Next is Shannon and I. Okay, this is going to be very hypocritical because kind of like Jemiah, she's very religious, and like I'm not a religious person at all. Like it's one thing to be religious, it's another to be like, oh, because you're born in this month, this is your personality, blah, blah, blah. Like I feel like there is a difference there, but it is kind of similar to Jemiah. But I thought I'm putting in a love tier. Is that bad to put Shannon in the love tier? I don't think she had that good. Well, she kind of did have some decent gameplay, but she was such an entertaining player to watch. Like she was kind of funny in a weird, odd way, but I think what I liked most about her, which wasn't even intentional, is how she used religion in the game. It reminded me of Coach from South Pacific, that cult that he led, and that was very same vibe that she was giving. Like, oh my gosh, you don't have like a cult. And her feud with Sage was pretty good. I really liked what she brought. I thought the pre-merge was kind of carried by Shannon and her little one-sided feud with Sage that she didn't really know about, and just the way she conducted herself, which if I wish it was intentional, it wasn't. But the fact that it wasn't intentional, but she was coming across as a cult leader is so funny to me. Like 10 years ago, middle school Sab would not have enjoyed that type of player. I want like game bots when I was younger, but now I kind of appreciate the chaotic energy that players like Shannon bring. I would love to see her back because I think it'd be really funny. Anyways, I'll move on. I'm gonna go on to Nate, and Nate I'm gonna put in they were good tier. I actually really like Nate. I think he was very good at the game. He had a good sound strategic head on him. He wasn't like the most like over the top personality, but he was like very authentic, down to earth. Sometimes it's nice just to have someone who isn't crazy and over the top, and that was kind of him, like the straight man, if you will. It was very unfortunate. He was, I guess, the first, no, because yeah, he was the merge boot because Shannon wasn't the merge. He was the merge, whatever you call it. I think he, did they actually merge this season? I think they merged this season. They didn't have the weird purgatory thing. He was the merge boot, and I think that was a really bad call on several players' parts, which I'll go over, but between Savannah, Rizo, and Nate, it should not have been Nate. That was a wild choice that they decided to vote him out there. Anyways, bad choice about Nate. I thought he was good. I liked him. He's going to the good tier. Next is MC, and I'm gonna put MC in the great tier. Kind of like Nate. She also wasn't over the top in terms of personality, but I did find her engaging. It didn't feel as performative. I think with some of these cast members, like with Jake doing the shoe band thing, it feels very performative, and I don't like that. With Nate and MC, who are a bit more subdued in personality, they are not performative at all, and I really appreciate that. At least that doesn't have it come across to me. And I thought MC was a pretty good player, that she had a good head on her shoulders. Her scene with Savannah getting that idol, Savannah diving for that idol, was hilarious. That was such a good scene, and I think she could have done some real damage in the show if people weren't stupid and voted her out. And she was definitely screwed in that. She was also definitely screwed in that split tribal council. Like it was very bad in terms of numbers. So she wasn't as much fault as most players are when they get voted out, because she kind of was an essentially tribe slot screwed. I liked her. She's going to great tier. Next is Alex, and Alex I'm going to put in they were good tier. I think I'll put him above Nicole and Matt. Alex kind of turned purple once the merge hit. Now that I'm thinking about it, why did I not like Alex pre-merge? There was something, I think he felt also very performative. He's like very like hyper and upbeat in every confessional. It's like it feels like you're trying to pull energy and it feels very performative. And this is actually an issue in Survivor editing lately, is the editing of their players in confessionals. But I think I'll save that for at the end. I think I started liking him more when we saw less of him, so maybe he should go lower. I thought he had pretty good gameplay. He was in the middle, he was doing good. I think Rizo did a really good job in turning tide against him when people shouldn't have voted him out. I think good's fair. He might not have been my favorite in terms of personality, but gameplay wise, I think he was actually pretty good. He did really good well in the whatever tribe they were called in the beginning. He got down to the final two, had an idol. I think it was smart to play the idol at that tribal council with him, Jeremiah, and Sophie. Like at that point you have to, even though it was wrong, you just have to do it. So don't fault him for playing a wrong idol there. I think good makes sense for him. Right, next is Jeremiah, and he's going at the bot. It's Jeremiah. Okay, let's do that again. Next is Jawan. He's going at the bottom of the dislike tier. I did not like Jawan. I didn't like him at all. Like Alex, he felt very performative in the confessionals. He was always like hyper, and maybe for whatever reason this season I just didn't want high energy people, you know? I don't want like duds or nothing burgers, but like this season just felt like so many people were so hyper in the confessionals. It was like over the top and annoying and performative. But I think what I disliked most about Jawan was his decision making. He was very loyal to his tribe in the beginning, and it was pretty clear he was on the bottom. It was like, why aren't you turning them? And then he did finally turn them with Shannon. Great, perfect. It seemed like it took a lot of convincing from Sage to get him to turn on Shannon, which was a fault of him. And then once the merge hit, he made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. I don't fault him for the Nate vote. That was more Kristina. I believe from what we showed, he did want to go for either Savannah or Rizo, which was the correct move. But then going for MC and Alex was mind-boggling. He was mad at MC because MC played her idol at the previous tribal council, and that seemed like a big reason why he voted her out. First off, everyone knew she had the idol. She just wanted to burn it. That was clear. And second off, she's never voted with you. She's never been to a tribal council. It's completely reasonable that she would play her idol at a first tribal council to make sure she is safe, because people could be lying to her. Like, I don't know. It is a game of Survivor. People lie all the time. Why are you so offended? She's never voted with you. That was really stupid reasoning on Jawan's part and kind of egotistical. Between MC and Sophie, if it had to be one of those two, you should have done Sophie. Why are you listening to Rizo? This was my frustration with this season, that people are listening to Rizo. He's on the bottom. Why do you, why would you assume everything he tells you is true? The way Jawan listened to Rizo about Alex, I'm like, oh yeah, like he is. And yes, Alex was playing the middle, but he wasn't doing as much as Rizo was saying. And Jawan just listened to him, was like, he's on the bottom. He's clearly a strategic player. Why are you believing everything he says? Going back to the MC versus Sophie vote, he should have gone for Rizo, because he and Sage both knew that Rizo was not voting for them. There was no penalty. Nothing would go wrong. They were not in the, what am I trying to say? They were not in the line of fire if the idol was played. It wasn't going to bounce back on them. They didn't take that shot when they clearly needed to. And between MC and Sophie, MC had shown Jawan, hey, I'm putting a lot of faith in you. I'm trusting you. Why would you turn on her? She's way more likely to work with you than Sophie is. And that came to bite him the very next round. Excuse me, the round after Alex, 2 rounds ago. And yes, him and Sage were a duo, but I do blame Jawan more for those decisions. It seemed like Sage wanted to turn on Rizo and Savannah sooner, but for some reason, Jawan was like, no, we're not doing that. That was what the show showed us. I didn't read any of the exit interviews because I try to base my opinions based off what the show is presented. So maybe Sage was more at fault for those decisions, but I really blame Jawan. So he's in the bottom dislike tier. Next is Sophie. She's going in the great tier. She was also purple in the beginning, which was very annoying because the more we saw her, the more I liked her. I loved the reward challenge where Jeff is like, oh, you can have like fruit if you win. She's like, fruit? I want food. I thought that was so funny, and I would have agreed with her. Like, yes, out there, any food is good food, like you'll take it. And sometimes with these really meaty subsistence, like beef or chicken, it might, because you're so hungry, eating too much of that might actually make you sick. But I agree with her, it's like, I want substance, I want protein, I don't want fruit. There's fruit on the island. I want meat. So I thought it was very funny she fought back against that. I'm with you, girl. And she was also pretty good. Like, she was playing very well up till she got voted out. She was on the correct side every time. She did a good job reading Hina that they did not want to work with her, so she flipped to Rizo and Savannah and Soph, which, yeah, they were kind of like the dynamic trio in that you're definitely in the bottom of the fourth, but she was also bottom on the other side too, and at least she had more power with the Rizo group. I also love her confessional after she got voted out when she was like, I'm the other Sophie. That was really funny. From what we saw, I actually really liked her and I thought she was pretty fun. So I wish we saw more of her. She goes in the great tier. Next is Steven. I'm gonna put Steven in the good tier. Steven was good at the game. He was good in challenges. He was very good social-wise. Strategic-wise, I think he had some good ideas. I think he was put in a very difficult decision because he had allies like Sage and Jawan who were just not listening and making wild decisions. Gameplay wise, he would go in the great tier, but taking in entertainment value, he's going to go a little lower because once again, it felt very performative. He was always the guy they would go to be like, this is the situation at hand, like based off of this vote, like based off of my seal, what was it? Based off of my block vote, this is the situation that happens. Like, we fucking know, we watched it. We know you have a block vote. We know what potential outcomes are. You don't need to say it to us. And that's not his fault. That's the editor's fault for putting in a monologue that we already know the information. Well, maybe I shouldn't punish him for that. I think I'll put him in great because he was really good at the game and it's not his fault they used him for exposition. Steven's also another one where it was a bad move to vote him out, I think, from Sage. Like, that was such whiplash with Soph using the knowledge power wrong and him playing the block vote. I was like, oh my God, they're going to get Rizo or Savannah because Rizo didn't play the idol. And then I could not believe when that third Steven vote pulled up. I was like, you what? If I was there, I would have lost my mind. I would have gone full Ingro mode on Sage and Kristina and be like, what? Why? You just gave them the game. Like, I'm not voting for you. Like, I would not be a bitter contestant and someone voted me out for gameplay wise. Like, you're too big of a threat. You weren't working with me, blah, 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 blah. Like, understandable. But to vote me out for a very stupid reason is unforgivable for me. And it gave Rizo, Sage, and Soph all the power when they voted out Steven. That was mind-boggling. Okay, let's move on though. I'm gonna move on to Kristina, and she's gonna go in the middle of okay tier. Clearly not good at the game. Everyone at like the final 6 onwards, like, Kristina's not winning. Like, she's not a threat. And she wasn't. And I don't think any of the jury respected her. She seemed like a nice person. She, you know, tried her best. She did have an idol that she played incorrectly, which I mean, props to her for trying to play for someone else and like seeing that, oh, this could not be going our way. And it did seem like with that merge boot, Kristina was the one that led to try to get Nate out. And I understand this whole like, well, let's just play it safe. Let's just make sure we have the numbers. I haven't voted a lot of these people. Let's just get Nate out. Also, like, did you really think it was going to go? It's like either going to go to Steven or MC. And like, well, I guess MC had the idol. Sophie had immunity. It was kind of down between her and Steven, so I guess she was concerned about that. I guess that's more fair. And also Kristina was purpled, like she was barely in the show, especially pre-merge. It was like very clear she wasn't winning. And she really just didn't give us a lot strategic-wise. Let's move on to Rizo. I'll put Rizo and they were great tier. I actually, from a character entertainment value-wise, I did not like Rizo. I really did not. The Riz God thing was cringy. I hated how every episode, and this is again an editor's thing, every episode he always had to say, like he always had to spell his name and say Riz God baby. It's like, we don't need to see this every fucking episode. Like, this is my issue with editing right now in Survivor, is especially with last season with like Camilla and what's his name who won. Camilla and the winner. Every episode we had to see how they were both working together and how no one knew they're working together. It's like, we don't need it every episode. And I know that sometimes the casual watchers can be a little unintelligent and they do need that reminder, but for the most part, it's like, come on, give us more credit. Like, we know, we get they're working together. We don't need everything explained to us. But he still was kind of cringy to me. I didn't like his very performative stuff, like with the fake idols. That was really, like, honestly bad in terms of entertainment value because it was cringy and annoying, and also bad strategically because it rubbed people the wrong way. Outside those fake idol plays, I think he actually really had a good gameplay. Like, the fact that he convinced people that his idol expired at 6 was wild. Like, that was so bad on Sage and Steven's part and Kristina's that they believed that. And to be fair, I do believe that Austin from 45 did have an idol that did expire at the final 6. So It's not like there wasn't precedent for that, but it's still really bad that they believe that. And again, why are you believing Rizo? You're clearly not working with him. Why are you assuming that he's telling you the truth? He definitely got like the strategic edit. I don't know how much of those decisions that he was making was also Savannah making, because it kind of was like the Rizo was strategic, Soph was social, Savannah was physical, but I'm sure it was more fluid than that. But yeah, he wasn't my favorite character, but game-wise, it was so good, he has to go on top of the great tier. Next is Sage, and I'll put Sage in, I'll put her in the middle of good. I did like watching her. I think she was very funny. A little bit gross with like that potty humor stuff. It was very disgusting. I don't follow her as much for like the MC vote and the Alex vote. It seemed like her hands were kind of tied with Jawan, so I don't necessarily fault her there. I do 100% fault her for the Sophie vote, which is why she's going to go less than great and loved. Even though she was an emotional player, she was very strategic. Like, she did have some good strategic chops on her. She did have some good reads, just people weren't listening to her. But it's why she's so strategic that was so frustrated when the Sophie vote came, because it was clearly emotional, and she tried to like convince herself like, no, this is strategic. It was emotional voting for Sophie because Sophie was working with you. Now, I will say, if I was playing Survivor and I had an ally I was working with and they turned on me and voted one of my close allies out, I know in my head, I have to vote them out at some point. The reason for that is in my head, I can't sit next to somebody who pulled the wool over my eyes. I have to get them back, because if I go to the end with them and I didn't get them out, or I didn't blindside them in some way, they have one up to me and I don't beat them, because they always say, well, I did this over Sav. So I understand that from Sage, but you gotta time it right. And you had a clear shot Savannah. It was your last chance to get Savannah out. And yes, Sophie was also good at winning immunities, but Sophie was also working with you, Sage. Savannah was not. It was clearly emotional, and it came to bite her because Savannah was no longer free. She was not free and up for elimination for the rest of the time she was there. And that was the time to get out Savannah or Rizo, because he had the idol. You need to get rid of him. It was just, oh my God, Sage. But that wasn't even the worst move she made. She voted out Steven. Like, you wrongfully believed that Rizo was telling the truth about when his idol expired. Why would you trust in Rizzo's words? You should have at least assumed Final 5, because here's the situation that did occur. Savannah won immunity at Final 5. Rizo was safe because he had the idol, and now that just leaves you, Kristina, and Soph, and they're not turning on Soph, and you wanted to sit at the end with Soph and Kristina. You put yourself in a very bad situation where if Kristina wasn't good at fire, Sage goes there. The only reason why Kristina goes is because she's really good at fire. And yes, I do appreciate that she recognized Steven was a threat. I appreciate that. But you easily could have gotten out at the Final 5 if he was still there. And yes, you didn't want Soph to go, so between Soph and Steven, Steven is the more threatening player. But you're also banking on the fact that Soph would turn on Savannah and Rizo. You don't have any proof of that. Like, you have no proof. Like, you yourself, Sage, have had no proof that Soph is turning on them. Nothing. So that's why you needed Steven there at the Final 5, so that you, Kristina, and Steven have the numbers. Also, you knew, once again, that in the event that Rizo idol was played, it's not going to come back on you. You knew the votes were going towards Steven. So you knew you were safe. Not only that, but like, Rizzo's clearly like a performative guy. Like, who's to say he wouldn't play the idol on Soph anyway, since they know, or at least believe, that the idol's going to Soph. Like, there was nothing to lose to vote for Rizo doing that round, and she didn't do it, and I really fault her for that. I'm honestly like talking myself up to putting it even lower than good, because those two votes were so frustrating. But I do want to give her credit. She did have a very good strategic mind, made some really poor decisions, kind of was tied up with Jawan being crazy, making wild decisions. Maybe I'll put it in bottom of good. I'll keep her in good, but she's gonna be punished for bottom of good because she made really bad decisions. Speaking of bad decisions, Soph, she's going in okay. No, she's going in bottom of good. I really thought Soph was winning the season. It was either Soph or Steven, because, you know, spoiler alert, Savannah and Rizo are going to be on season 50, and I did know they were going to be season 50, but I thought surely they wouldn't put the winner of season 49 on season 50, and they did, which was surprising, which I in some ways kind of appreciate, and it is kind of interesting that we have this unknown winner playing. What does that do for the cast? Which is interesting. So because of that mentality, I thought Rizo and Savannah aren't winning. It has to be either Steven or Soph. But then the episode Steven got voted out came about, and it was like, well, it can't be one of them, can it? Steven was obviously gone, and Soph made such a bad call to try to take his block of vote, which I had given Soph so much credit for her gameplay. She was clearly good socially. She was the social queen of the cast, I believe. And she had kept that knowledge of power secret for so long. But then she decided to tell Rizo and Savannah at the reward challenge, after Savannah had won immunity, that she had it. And it did seem like she would have turned on Savannah. And I guess I will give her some props, like, okay, she did recognize she needed to vote out Savannah, but that never happened. And I had to base my opinions on what did happen. And yes, it was a bit unfortunate that Savannah wasn't up for grabs at the final 6 and final 5 and 1 fire making. I don't think she should have turned Savannah at this final 7. She needed those numbers, but there was a path for her to win without Savannah going. The worst move of all was choosing to steal Steven's block vote instead of Rizzo's idol. Like, she even said to herself, my grandma would probably want me to steal Rizzo's idol. Then do that! Do that! Listen to your grandmother, please! A game-winning move if she took Rizzo's idol, even if she's sitting at the end with both Rizzo and Savannah. Like, that was badass and really cool, and clearly showed that she was willing to turn on them. And yeah, she may not have ever had a shot to take out Savannah. She clearly would have, because the evidence being that she took Rizzo's idol. All that said, let's go to Savannah, and I'm going to put her in the love tier. I loved her from entertainment value. She was very petty, playing up to Jawan. It's like, oh my god, did you vote for me? Was that you? Haha. Knowing that he was going was really funny. I do think she had a good strategic mind. She pulled in people like Soph and Sophie. She pulled them both in, reined them in, and got them to vote with her when she needed them to. Made sure Kristina went out at final 5, which was the correct call from her point, because the only way she goes out is she doesn't win immunity or fire, and Kristina was most likely to take her out in fire. And I think she correctly read that people were likely to put her in fire because they saw her as a big threat. So even though she was the bronze of the trio, I think she was also had a lot of strategic voice in that as well. Social game was not the best, as was evident with Kristina's question at Fire Tribal Council. Like, that was really bad. I thought she lost it there, and I have to say that's kind of fair. Now, it is a bit unfair to make Savannah name 8 people's different loved ones. Like, first off, she's tired, she's hungry, her head's in the game, and she's focused on winning and focused on how do I sell my game. She's not focused on remembering people's loved ones. That said, Soph did seem to know all of them. Yes, Savannah, you are intending on voting certain people out, but that doesn't mean you can just ignore them. Like, you don't want to befriend somebody and then backstab them right away. Like, why are you befriending somebody if you're just gonna immediately vote them out? But you still need to get to know people. You shouldn't just ice them out completely. And I do kind of falter for that. She did give mean girl vibe, and she's like, I don't understand what people like think I'm a mean girl. It's like, well, because you kind of are. Like, do some self-reflecting there. That said, what we did get was an edited version, so who knows. That aside, I do think she had good gameplay, and she was very entertaining to watch, which is why she's going in love tier. I do dock her a little bit of points because I don't think her social game was the best, which is why she's not going above Shannon, even though her gameplay was better than Shannon. Shannon was just completely entertaining, and god, I would have loved if Shannon was on season 50, but I understand why her and Rizo are on season 50. I do think that was valid and warranted. This does complete my tier ranking video. Season 49 overall, not that great of a season. Very slow start. There were so many bad gameplay moves being made from both Jawan and Sage, and bad gameplay decisions. It was frustrating. Now, at least it was something to talk about. At least it wasn't just like a steamroll, because that would have been very boring. It's like, okay, at the very least, I have something to talk about. I can at least talk about the poor gameplay happening, and I appreciate that. Going back to the performative issue, I feel like some of these contestants were very performative because they wanted to get on season 50, and I don't like that aspect of it. I also don't like how the confessionals are edited, and this is an issue with like new era Survivor. It's always like, oh, because I have this block vote, I could do this, but because Rizo has his idol, I could do this, and this could happen. Blah, 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 blah. I don't need this hurt. I don't need Riz God saying Riz God every episode. It's like with the Tika 3 in season 44, or the Tika 3, like, where the swing vote, no one knows. Like, we know we don't need that said every god freaking time. Ugh, don't give us exposition when you can show. Show, not tell, please. And Survivor lately has been telling with its edits, and it's annoying. But that will conclude my video on Survivor 49. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the cast. I obviously let you know mine, so it's only fair that I hear yours out. And I'll see you next time. Ta-ta.